Welcome to Wisdom Trek with Gramps. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, and we are on day 2642 of our trek. The purpose of Wisdom Trek is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, and to boldly grow where few have chosen to grow before. In today's Wisdom Nugget, we'll continue our deep dive into the raw emotional depths of Psalm 69 in the New Living Translation. In our previous treks, we've joined the psalmist in a desperate cry for help, feeling overwhelmed by the literal and metaphorical floods. We've seen his anguish over unjust accusation and the profound pain of being mocked for his sincere devotion to God, even by his own family and the lowest members of society. Now we delve into verses 16 through 21. The psalmist intensifies his pleas for divine compassion and vividly describes the cruel abandonment and the bitter rejection he experiences in his sufferings. This section is particularly poignant, capturing the essence of his feeling utterly alone in a sea of hostility, desperately longing for God's presence and comfort. While steeped in the ancient Israelite experience of shame and ostracization, these verses can carry a prophetic weight, foreshadowing the ultimate suffering and the rejection of the Messiah. For our purposes today, we'll focus on the psalm's immediate human anguish and his appeal to God's merciful character. So let's open our hearts with these words and our desperate appeal. First, let's read Psalm 69, verses 16 through 18. Answer me, Lord, for your unfailing love is good. In your great compassion, turn to me. Don't turn away from me, for I am in distress. Answer me quickly, for I am in trouble. Come and rescue me. Save me from all my enemies. The psalmist's plea begins with an urgent, direct appeal to God's character. Answer me, Lord, for your unfailing love is good. In your great compassion, turn to me. Having laid bare the depths of his suffering and the injustices he faces, he doesn't appeal to his own merit, but solely to God's inherent goodness and mercy, his unfailing love, the Hebrew word hesed. It's a steadfast, covenant-keeping love, loyal and true, even when circumstances seem to contradict it. Great compassion speaks to God's deep empathy and pity for those in distress. The psalmist is essentially saying, God, because who you are, because of your good, unfailing love and your great compassion, you must respond to me. This appeal to God's nature is a powerful lesson in prayer for us. When we feel overwhelmed, instead of focusing solely on the problem, we can anchor our prayers in the unchanging character of God, His love, His mercy, His power, and His faithfulness. The urgency in his situation is palatable. He says, don't turn away from me, for I am in distress. Answer me quickly, for I am in trouble. To have God turn away would be the ultimate abandonment, a sign of divine displeasure or indifference. The psalmist desperately fears this. His distress is acute, his trouble immediate. He isn't asking for leisurely response. He needs God to act now. The urgency highlights the direness of his situation, where every moment feels crucial and a delay could mean utter ruin. He then combines his plea for attention with a request for action. Come and rescue me. Save me from all my enemies. This is a desperate cry for God to draw near to him personally, to step into his dire circumstances, and to deliver him from the multiple adversaries who are causing him such anguish. This isn't a theological debate. It's a gut-wrenching cry for immediate, tangible intervention from the only one capable of providing it. Imagine a child lost and terrified, calling out to a parent. Their cry is urgent. Their appeal to their parents' love and ability to help, and their fear of being ignored is overwhelming. The psalmist's prayer carries the same raw, primal intensity. Now let's move on to verses 19 through 21, where the psalmist vividly describes the extent of his humiliation and the bitter, uncompassionate treatment he receives from others. You know the scorn, disgrace, and dishonor I endure. You see all my enemies and what they are doing to me. Their insults have broken my heart, and I am in despair. If only someone would show pity. If only someone would give me comfort. But instead, they give me poison for food. They offer me sour wine for my thirst. The psalmist reiterates his trust in God's omniscience as both the source of comfort and the basis of his plea. You know the scorn, disgrace, and honor I endure. You see all my enemies and what they are doing to me. He knows God is fully aware of his suffering. This isn't just a general awareness, it's a deep, intimate knowledge of every insult, every act of shaming, every dishonorable treatment that he has experienced. And God not only sees what, but also who, all my enemies and what they are doing to me. This certainty that God sees everything, even when no human does, is a crucial anchor in his storm of distress. The emotional impact of this relentless onslaught is devastating. Their insults have broken my heart, and I am in despair. Now, the word broken heart speaks to the profound emotional pain, a crushing blow to his spirit. This is more than just feeling sad. It's a deep spiritual wound, a sense of hopelessness. This constant mockery, the public humiliation, the unjust accusations, and the betrayal by his own family has taken an unbearable toll. His spirit is utterly crushed. In a state of utter despair, the psalmist voices a desperate longing for human sympathy and comfort. If only someone would show pity. If only someone would give me comfort. This is a universal human cry. When we are suffering intensely, we long for a compassionate presence, a kind word, a gesture of comfort. This psalmist's plea here is not for grand deliverance, but for simple human kindness, for someone to acknowledge his pain and offer a measure of solace. But the response he receives is the very antithesis of compassion. Instead of pity, instead of comfort, he experiences profound cruelty. But instead, they give me poison for food, and they offer me sour wine for my thirst. This is one of the most chilling and famous verses in the psalm, with powerful messianic overtones. In the ancient world, to offer someone food or drink is an act of hospitality, a sign of welcome and care. But here, instead of nourishment for his hunger, he is given poison or gall, a bitter toxic herb. Instead of refreshing water for his thirst, he is offered sour wine or vinegar. That is diluted wine, but here it implied bitter and unwelcome. This is not just a denial of comfort, it is an active act of malice and mockery. They are intensifying his suffering by offering a substance that would further his pain and bitterness rather than relief. It is a complete dehumanization, a deliberate act of cruelty to inflict maximum suffering. This image profoundly foreshadows the suffering of Christ on the cross, who was offered sour wine or vinegar in his thirst. This connection highlights a deep shared experience of deep, undeserved suffering and cruel mockery experienced by both the psalmist and ultimately by the Messiah. The bitterness of the drink mirrors the bitterness of betrayal and rejection. The psalm's ordeal is not just physical, it's psychological, emotional, and spiritual. He is suffering from relentless scorn, a broken heart, and a desperate loneliness, compounded by the active cruelty of those around him. He is thirsty for compassion, but they offer him bitterness. So what profound wisdom can we draw from these verses for our wisdom trek for today? Well, firstly, these verses remind us that God is aware of our sufferings, even our hidden pain of scorn and our broken heart. When we feel unseen or unheard by others, we can rest assured that God knows every insult, every tear, and every injustice that we endure. Secondly, the psalm's persistent appeal to God's unfailing love and great compassion is a powerful model for our own prayers in distress. Even when we feel utterly abandoned by humanity, God's character remains our anchor. We can boldly approach Him, not on the basis of our merit, but on the certainty of His limitless love and mercy. Thirdly, this passage validates the pain of loneliness and abandonment, especially when we are suffering. It highlights a deep human need for empathy and comfort. It also challenges us to be people who do offer comfort and pity to those who are in distress, rather than adding to their pain. And finally, the cruel acts of rejection and bitter provision serve a stark reminder of the world's capacity for malice, particularly toward those who are aligning themselves with God. It also points to the ultimate suffering of Christ, who truly drank from the cup of bitterness for our sake. In our own moments of profound suffering, when we feel abandoned and given only bitterness, we can look to the one who endured it all and find solace in his shared experience and ultimate victory. Let us cling to God's unfailing love and great compassion, knowing that He sees our scorn, He hears our cries, and is ultimately our source of comfort and rescue, even when the world offers us only a cup of bitterness. Thank you for joining me on our deeply moving trek through Psalm 69, verses 16 through 21. I trust that this exploration of desperate appeal and profound suffering has given you a renewed sense of God's compassionate presence in your own moments of need. Join me again next time as we continue to seek and apply these timeless truths of God's Word. And if you found this podcast insightful, please subscribe and leave us a review. Then encourage your friends and family to join us and come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, and most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. As we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, Listen intentionally. Learn continuously. Lend to others generously. Lead with integrity. And leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward. Enjoy your journey and create a great day every day. See you next time for more daily wisdom.